Hey, it's Tom here. How you doing? So anyway, we're having a down market, as you can see. Everything's still in the red. Okay. I woke up yesterday morning and I was like, "What? WTF?" And now today it's still, there's a few greens in there, but most of it's red. You could see that, Bitcoin is just hovering above 10K. Ethereum is below 1,000. Beautiful, right? Look at this. Great if you've got money on the sidelines, right? Uh, Ripple's just over $1. Kind of surprised how well Ripple seems to be holding up, considering you'd expect that one would have gone back down into the cents. Look at this, Cardano, 54 cents. Litecoin, 176. Neo's holding up surprisingly well. It's still over 100. Look at this, Stellar down to 41 cents. They're all down. Tron's down to 5 cents. That's no surprise. I thought it'd actually be down to 3. Ethereum Classic. It was 26 yesterday. It's 28 right now. Had we known this is all coming, could have dumped it into Tether and waited out the storm and bought in. Don't have a crystal ball. But I'm going to show you how we might have had a crystal ball had we been paying close enough attention. Okay? A VeChain, 460. Binance Coin, 12.79. KuCoin, $10. Bargain prices if if you've got the cash. So anyway, I want you to look at this. Here you've got move me over. Does it work? Okay, move me over. You can look at these charts. These charts show annual Bitcoin price charts, 2015, 2016, 2017, early 2018. You can see where it's circled is around January. Look at the dip. Seems that every year it's gone down this time of year. Gone down big. Corresponds with Chinese New Year. Is this really the main factor here? Is Asians are taking out a lot of money so they can party for Chinese New Year and give gifts? I mean, I don't know. This reason has been put forward. I've also seen a reason about the whales timing this to certain events, like the China crackdown, the North Korea stories. I don't know. I mean, that one seems like a conspiracy theory. I guess they can coordinate certain things around certain other news items to like throw you off the trail. I know that like 3:45 a.m. someone was watching these massive sell walls come up, but that could have been Asians, in Asia, on the other side of the world at that time, pulling money out. I don't know. So anyway, but you can look at this. So I decided to look at this a little further, and I went over to Bitcoin.com, and you can pull up the price chart, and you can, as you can see here, you can. Put myself up here. You can look at the time. So here, look at 2015. I've got early 2015 highlighted. Now look at this. Here's this big dip in January. Look at that. Big dip. Then it goes right back up in February. Now this is 2015, right? Now let's look at 2016, same time period. Watch this. Little different chart, but you can see it's down at the beginning of the year, and then it climbs. If maybe if you shrink it. Now look at this. Watch this. It doesn't look like much when you go from January to like July, but when you shrink it, shrink the window to look at January. Look at this dip. Look at this big dip. in January. I mean, look at this. It's unmistakable, right? Now let's go to early 2017, right? Look, here we go again. If you stretch it out, sometimes you can see it. Like, you don't really see it when you stretch it out to like 6 months, but when you narrow the window down, look at this. Look at this. January. Boom. Boom. Right? And then it climbs back up. Now this is only the course of a few weeks here, a month. And it, look at this one. It climbed up above all of these highs by March. But even by early February, it was well above the low, the super low there. And here we come to this year, obviously. This is what we have. We had this big drop in December. It came up again, and then boom, it came down again. It's actually a little higher right now than it was. So we'll see how this chart works out. Okay. You would have never known this if you didn't look. We all should have been looking at this and anticipating this, right? Shame on us. Shame on us for not realizing this January dip. I know a lot of people who got surprised by this, who wasn't looking at the chart this way and didn't realize it. And now think about it. If everybody had realized it and pulled their money out, you would have had a much worse collapse. So maybe that's not a great thing either. And I know you have to, you got to look at this. Don't sell your stuff. If you sell at a loss, you lose. We anticipate things going back up. And try not to listen too much to the news stories. They're all coming out of the woodwork. All coming out of the woodwork. They got all these talking heads out there talking about the death of Bitcoin because of this. No one's looking at this yearly cycle thing. None of these so-called experts, right? Everybody's talking about BitConnect. Everybody's talking about China. I mean, China is doing a lot right now trying to shut down Bitcoin in their neck of the woods, throwing the miners out. It's sad what they're doing over there. But that's what sort of country they are. So before you go praising China, a lot of people out on the internet, they love to praise China, praise China. China's not so hot. They're not so great, right? Big totalitarian country over there, right? You want to live under a system like that where the government tells you absolutely what you're allowed and not allowed to do? Real great country, China, right? They're not so great, okay? They are a totalitarian state, right? It is a dictatorship of that one party that tells you what to do, right? And if you don't listen, so, and then you got the Korea FUD. We'll see how this works out with the Korean ministers, what they want to do over there. Or, you know, it'd be stupid to chase all this stuff off. The Korean people aren't too happy. South Korean people aren't too happy about this. Oddly enough, North Korea loves Bitcoin too. The only thing is they like going out there and stealing it. They're the other side of the coin here. So, no pun intended. So here's Putin spouting off about oversight legislation needed. You know, so you got a lot of stuff, and then you got everything goes down. Everything goes down. Here you got a banker talking about cryptocurrency as a pyramid scheme. All this stuff's coming out in the news. The news agencies love this stuff. They love these headlines. This is clickable. This is clickbait. This is sensationalistic. They love it. You just have to try to ignore it, I guess. But at the same time, Mark Cuban, Mr. Anti-Bitcoin, you'll be able to buy Dallas Mavericks tickets with Bitcoin and actually Ethereum too soon. That's an odd piece of news considering he's been like Jamie Dimon with the anti-Bitcoin remarks in the past. So this is like a crazy time of year here. They got a story here. Regulation worries. Bitcoin investors struggle to convert profits to pounds. I couldn't see this article because you have to be a subscriber to the Financial Times. Maybe some of you are. Uh, Asian stocks poised for declines following Wall Street reversal and Bitcoin stumbles. You know, watch. They're going to start talking about market contagion now. Watch that. They're going to start talking about how Bitcoin's going to be to blame for certain stock market woes. That's going to be the next wave of FUD. So you've got to weather all this stuff. You can go to my site here to keep up on a lot of this news. But yeah, that's what's going on here in Bitcoin land. But just remember these charts. Remember these charts. But look at the highs after. It usually goes up after. How this year's will go? Will it go up rapidly or take a while? We don't know. Hopefully it won't take a while because a lot of our portfolios are down. Not all of us have cash on the high sidelines to buy in right now. We're stuck because our assets are all down, so there's nothing to sell for to buy stuff. Everything's down. So you just have to sit and wait in a lot of cases, unless you've got cash on the sidelines and you can buy the sale. Okay? So that's about it for now. Just understand that that's the chart. That's the chart, and it's unmistakable. And I went to, I looked at the actual charts for those times of the year, and sure enough, going back to at least 2015, look at that, 2015, 2016, 2017, it's all the same. A little different ways they climbed out of it, but they're all unmistakable. So keep that in mind, okay? And please subscribe and share this video out to let people know that there's patterns here that back this up. And shame on us for not realizing it. Shame on us. But then again, if most of us realized it, the dip probably would have been worse because more people would have pulled their money out in anticipation. But then again, the climb could have been a lot better too if people had the money to buy back in stronger. Who knows? So tell me what you think below. Please subscribe. Share this video out. I'm trying to get more subscribers here. I don't know how to compete with these YouTube whales. Okay? And again, go to my site for news, for tech news, and it updates regularly. Later.